day. Hey, everyone. It's been a minute since we had an interview segment on here, and I wanted to bring this to you because I had a great chat with Kris Rugloski. We spoke earlier in the week after last weekend's victory over Rebecca Hamilton Savage. And then this weekend, what do you know? She beats Alex Walker on Saturday for the Spartan. So we hopped back on. You're going to hear the whole podcast this week, actually tomorrow. But in the meantime, why not go ahead and get this up? Just a little 5-minute chit chat, just a little smidgen, little portion of a chat from today. She deserves it. She's on a roll, and she's not someone I've ever had on the show before. So here we go. Here's Kris Rugloski. Away we go.
Yeah. Well, when I came, I really started racing more seriously after I moved to Texas and met a lot of the OCR or the Texas OCR people pretty quickly. And Alex Walker was the name they brought up, and they were all like, "Oh, you'll be a good competition for her." So she's always, I guess they call her the Texas Queen, OCR Queen. She does really, she pretty much dominates all the Texas races. So I just try to give her some competition here and there, and we go back and forth. I think the first time we raced was like 2018 in Austin, and she won both days. But then we raced in Dallas, and I won both days. So kind of gone back and forth here and there, and kind of weird.
And then what about at Savage?
At Savage, I've raced her probably more than that. I think she's normally won Savage, but I did beat her at the Dallas one. No, was it? I think it was Dallas. Florida. I beat her at Florida last fall, maybe. And again, it was on the rig. It was a really tough rig last fall in Florida. And I made it through. She ended up falling and twisted her ankle after I'd gone through or something. So she actually didn't even finish. But I did pass her on the rig before that fail. So I still count it as that one's kind of up for debate. But I think she's normally beat me in the Savage ones.
Right. You want to win. You want to win clean. Like if the person scratches on the 8 ball, it's a win, but you'd rather take the good. You'd rather take the real win.
It's still going to count, but
Right. You don't want them to beat themselves. So take me through the race yesterday. Apparently everybody missed the spear.
Yeah. Well, the top 3, I think
that's what I mean.
Place girl got it. Yeah. No, yesterday was really fun. Lauren Stroud, which has her name's kind of been around. She started training with us down where we live south of Houston. She started training with us about 6 months ago. She's had a lot of success in the road running, marathon. She qualified for the Olympic trials, all this stuff, and started trying to dabble in OCR. So yesterday, her first race was 2-3 weeks ago in Jacksonville, and she didn't like that it was so short. So yesterday was her first super distance, and she's obviously much more of a runner than an OCR specialist. Anyways, so it was the 3 of us were running together for the majority of the race. Lauren's insanely fast. But all 3 of us were kind of trading the lead back and forth. It was actually me and Lauren passed Alex. It was at 1.5 miles, 2 miles in, we passed her on an obstacle. And I just remember coming off the obstacle first, and I was like, okay, I'm in the lead now. But then Lauren took back the lead and led for a lot of the back half running. But it wasn't until we came to that last obstacle gauntlet in the last 1.5 miles that, Alex was right behind me. I could see Lauren right in front of me. So it was all 3 of us were running together the whole race. But in that last 1.5 miles, we got to Twister, and I got through that faster than Lauren. And Alex, came into it not long after me. But after that Twister, I took off, and I didn't really see them. I think I put a good 2 to 3 minute gap between us. I saw them as I was coming out of the bucket. They were coming in. I kind of saw them, but it was far enough behind. Missed the spear, but I was on burpee number 20 when Alex came into the rope climb, which was right before the spear. So I was still pretty sure I had it. But yeah, we all ended up having to burpee the spear throw. And then after that, it was some kind of cargo net, box plus cargo net. And then there was a tire flip, monkey bars, slip wall, A-frame, and then the Herc hoist, all within the last, it was 1/2 mile or something.
Right. So, we like that though. We like the obstacle gauntlet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was fun. So we end up, I think I finished 2 minutes ahead of Alex, and then Lauren's still working on the strength stuff. So she had to, after burping the spear throw, she couldn't bring I don't know if she actually made the Herc hoist all the way up to the top. So she had to burpee out of the Herc hoist too. So I think she finished about 4 minutes after Alex, but it was really fun to like run with them. And especially, and I don't come from a running background at all. So it's always been my struggle. So to kind of like, oh, I'm like running with them. Like we're kind of keeping up here. So it was a blast. The terrain was really interesting, really rocky, lots of like cedar branches and a lot of like brush.
They were there in 2019 though, right?
Yes, 2019. And I ran it in 2019. I think it was about the same course as 2019. And then last year, the whole world shut down like
the day before.
That weekend. No, it was Friday of the race day. Like all of us were already on our way there and everything canceled. So it was good to be back.
Yeah, I spoke with Lauren briefly in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, who's she working with to like get her? Because obviously she needs to work on that strength and then can be like a real like someone to mess with.
Yeah. She's been working with us at Grit and Kenny Stanford that owns Grit, and she comes and works out multiple times a week, does our weekend workouts and stuff. So no, she's made a huge difference from when she first started coming. She's worked really hard on all the Grit stuff. So obstacles don't really give her a problem anymore, but it's the strength. We're still bringing that together. So
right, because I feel like if you come with the speed, right? Yeah. I feel like that's an easier one to get, right?
Yes, it's easier to add the obstacles in.
Because you're like if you're not fast, you can get faster, but right there's more of a ceiling, right?
A lot of uphill, yeah.
Right. All right, so then take us through today. Today is the sprint, super quick, right?
Yeah, today was the sprint. It always goes really fast. There were only about like 7 of us in the elite wave, I think, which is kind of sad, but
I have to look that up. Hang on, I have to look that up.
It was I think Alex came back with a vengeance, and she took off from the start. I mean, I could see her a lot of the race, but she finished. Oh, she didn't fail her spear throw, and I did. I'm terrible at spear throw. So I think she finished 4 minutes in front of me.
You might want to work on that.
I kind of do, but I just don't make any headway,
Well, she said I ran with my heart, but I looked at that video. I was like, dude, she's running angry. That's an angry person, like, which is not bad, right? Like to run angry too. But she said she ran with her heart. But I'm like, yeah, I look like you were pissed. You wanted to, get back, which is great. Like whatever it takes, right? Whatever motivation.
Oh yeah, she did good. She definitely came out. She had it today. So yeah, kudos to her.
All right, so sprint female, quick course, 28:07. Was that even quicker than Jacksonville?
I wouldn't know. I haven't paid attention to that.
Jacksonville was really fast too.
Yeah, this one was fast. It was 3.4 miles. She beat
you by a good 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
And she was 4th overall, including the guys.
Yes, that was impressive. So she was really moving.
All right. Thank you, Kris. Hope you enjoyed that video. Stay tuned. If you haven't heard yet, have I announced this? We're going to be at all the Savage races. That's right. ORM is going to bring you the great broadcast that we brought you from last Savage to this weekend Savage in Georgia and all the ones later this year. A lot more about that to come up. I thought I'd drop that little smidgen on you right now. So anyway, love you, miss you, mean it. I got to run.